Hi, and welcome to this video. I'm Brooke Cormier. I'm a full-time fine art painter, and today I want to talk to you about how you can create art that you love by taking your own reference photos. Reference photos are basically images that help inspire your work or that you can base your artwork off of. I am an oil painter, and taking my own reference photos is a big part of my creative process. So in this video, I want to share with you what I look for when I take reference photos, why I think that taking your own reference photos is a valuable practice, and some tips and tricks that'll help you make better art that you love. So, as artists, we're always looking to create inspired work, and that's why it's important when we're choosing where we take our reference photos, we do so in a setting that inspires us. For me personally, nature is my biggest inspiration, so when I'm on a quest for reference photos, one of my favorite places to look is in the Canadian wilderness. But first I have to get there. Lucky for me, this particular quest comes with a very special ride and the best personal driver. This is Doro. She's a geographer working as an illustrator on environmental topics, and she's currently driving the Pan American Highway from the Arctic all the way to the south of Argentina in her slow-ass Land Cruiser from 1987. We're both creatives who share a passion for nature, and I was so excited when I found out she'd be passing through Ontario on her journey. This was the perfect opportunity to show her the beauty of my home province and get some reference photos in the process. On our itinerary was a canoe trip and some car camping in the backcountry.
Road trip.
We had a long drive ahead of us from Toronto, but the time flew by since we had so much to catch up on. Doro and I met 5 years ago when we both moved into the same shared art studio in Vienna, and we've been friends ever since. So, after getting adequately away from civilization, we had a coffee and some lunch before switching into photographer mode. When taking reference photos, there are a few things that I look for. I want to paint something that excites me, and that is usually in the form of an interesting subject matter, good lighting, a pop of color, or just a place that evokes a particular feeling. The memories attached to the reference photos I take are what help me bring a painting to life. They're what give me the love I have for the work. This canoe trip I took with Doro was particularly special. It was the first time I could share my love of both nature and photography and videography with somebody else, and the novelty of this type of collaboration just had me buzzing with excitement. We had so much fun combining our outdoor adventure with putting our creative minds together and capturing our time in the wilderness with our cameras.
Just make me a coffee, damn it.
Even if we were fighting off armies of mosquitoes in the process.
Oh, mosquitoes are attacking. Oh my gosh, yeah, they're really bad right now. She survived.
No, I'm not there yet.
Next on our itinerary was taking the old Land Cruiser car camping. But first, we had to fill up on gas, get some advice from the local mechanic, and save a few snapping turtles from the road.
Just keep going forward. Forward.
When I'm out and about taking reference photos, I actually started using a combination of video and photo. Because my camera takes really good videos, it's nice because I can just take a screen capture of the exact frame I want to paint. So instead of sifting through hundreds of photos, I can take a 30-second video from different angles and then later find the frame I'm happiest with. And when I line up my shots, I generally like to use the law of thirds, which is basically when you split the scene into thirds, horizontally and vertically with 9 equal parts, and then place the important elements on the intersection of those lines or along the lines themselves. But I also like to play with center compositions from time to time. When I'm in nature, I like to get a good range of close-up and far-away shots, macro and micro, because I like to have a lot of selection when I get back to the studio to paint. And sometimes you can surprise yourself with photos. You may take a picture and think, meh, but then get back to the studio and think, wow. And you can also do so much with editing, like cropping the image down to change the composition or enhancing the colors, stuff like that.
Cheers.
I'm already drunk off IPA.
So now I'd like to talk about why I think that taking your own reference photos is a valuable practice. I've mentioned in a previous video how I'm a believer that you can sell your practice art, but this becomes a little bit tricky if you're just copying another artist's work. That's why taking your own reference photos can be the perfect tool to create art that is uniquely and completely yours without having to worry about copyright. You have complete creative control over your work from start to finish, and this is important when practicing any kind of art. For example, in my filmmaking journey, I use a lot of different tools that make my videos uniquely mine. There's the footage I shoot, the way that I edit in color grade, and the music that I choose to convey the feeling of the video. And luckily, with Epidemic Sound, I also don't have to worry about copyright because all of their music and sound effects are restriction-free. Epidemic Sound is the market-leading soundtrack innovation platform, which I've been using since I started taking my YouTube channel more seriously over 2 years ago. As an artist, it's important for me to create a feeling with any work that I make, whether that's a painting or a video. And with Epidemic Sound, I can browse over 50,000 songs and 200,000 sound effects to achieve this. In this particular video, with the beautiful scenery of the Canadian wilderness, I wanted to portray the feeling of peace that I personally get when I'm in nature. And on Epidemic Sound, I can sort the music by mood, so I can simply type in the word peaceful. I can then narrow down my search by selecting the genre, and once I find a song that I like, I can select Find Similar to discover other songs that fit the footage. I really think that adding music can make a scene so much more impactful. If you're looking to take your filmmaking skills to the next level, click the link in the description and soundtrack your content now. Thank you so much, Epidemic Sound, for sponsoring this video. I insisted that before we pack up our campsite, Doro had to try her first s'more. And if you're not Canadian or North American, a s'more is a bonfire roasted marshmallow with chocolate between 2 graham crackers. And Doro decided to add her own flair with some strawberries. So, while we head back to civilization, I want to share some tips on how you can use your own reference photos to create work that you love. In the past, when I wasn't sure what I should create, what really helped me was finding an artist's work that I loved and studying it. I'd write down what it was that attracted me to their work, and I'd try to dissect how they accomplished the techniques they were using. And then, instead of trying to exactly replicate one of their paintings, I would try painting in their style, but while using my own reference photo that I took. So when I'm doing a landscape painting, for example, I would have several photos up on my laptop at the same time. One is my reference photo that I'm using for composition and values, and about 5 others are paintings from Mark Bowages, where I look at brushstrokes and color and stuff like that. Or when I'm doing a still life painting, I'll have my reference photo in front of me along with 5 other Carol Marine paintings. I find that looking at other artists' work while I paint just reminds me of what I'm trying to accomplish in the piece that I'm working on. And I think that this technique, combined with the memories behind the reference photos I take, have helped me create some of my best work. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and I had to say farewell to Doro as she continued on her road trip. I lost the footage of me ugly crying while we hugged goodbye, but I was so thankful to have this time with her, and who knows, maybe I'll get some paintings out of it. So my friends, I hope that you found this video helpful, and maybe you'll start making artwork that you truly love by taking your own reference photos. I also just have to give a big old shout out to my homegirl Doro for being my adventure partner for this video. It was honestly so much fun, and Doro is like the most adventurous and kind-hearted person I know. So if you're interested in following her journey as a solo female traveler who is driving the longest road in the world and also documenting the landscapes that she passes through, give her a follow on Instagram, Dorothy Post, and she also has a YouTube channel that I'm going to link in the description if you're interested. Show her some love, why don't you? If you liked the video, please let me know in the comments, or maybe share some of your own tips for taking reference photos. Or just say hi. You can say hi and let me know what you were up to when we hung out today. You know, I always love reading the comments. I'm always so appreciative of our time together. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. I post stuff about artist life, art advice, painting stuff, all things like that. So yeah. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm Brooke Cormier, and I'll see you next time.